Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Victorian Cowboy, and welcome to the Time of Contempt Book Club. Yes, we are discussing the second novel in the Witcher series by Andrzej Sapkowski today. We are discussing Chapter 7. It is the final chapter of the novel. And there's a little more in this one than the last one to talk about, seeing as the last one was merely Ciri in Chapter 6 struggling almost entirely by herself to survive in the desert with some help from a unicorn, and just putting into context all that she had learned, with the major occurrence being she's lost her powers, which gets reaffirmed in this one, though we get to see she still has all of her training, her physical training from the witches, so she is not entirely powerless. But we find out she's been captured not by the winged Black Knight of Sintra, but by a different knight who... we get to see the Nilfgaardians actually have disputes amongst themselves, to the point where, as she's being transported back by a Nilfgaardian knight and the trappers she's with, the Blue Knight appears and ends up getting into a fight with the knight who's transporting her, and they all end up killing each other off, the knights do. As though the common people, who are the trackers, who are more mercenaries, end up taking control of Ciri, and they end up in this town which is ruled by Nilfgaard. It's Nilfgaardian settlers, with this other band that had captured Kaylee the Rat. The Rats being this band of bandits who are children of the Time of Contempt, which I feel is a really interesting way to phrase it, but they've been successful because they're more of a Robin Hood-esque kind of thing, where they do it because they enjoy killing and they don't really want the material wealth. They're willing, as it says, to give handfuls of gold to the people who help them, so tailors and people who feed them and house them and whatnot. But they're hunted. They're a band of 6 people that end up being a band of 7, which I think will play out to Ciri's benefit, seeing as nobody knows who she is. She gets this nickname Folka, which is disconcerting because Folka is the one who took away her magical powers. And they're bandits. They go around killing, mostly indiscriminately. They seek retribution, and they're just an all-around pain in the side for the prefix of Nilfgaard. And of course, Tawny Owl decides that Ciri, being a 7th member of this band, isn't the person they're looking for, is not the Princess Cirilla that Emir von Emrys wants, and gives the order to have them all hung. And during this, we see Ciri realize that she's no longer alone again, after going through the chapter in the desert where she is alone, and she has the sense of there's no one there for her. Even with the unicorn, and even with the trappers who have her as a prisoner, she feels alone. But once rescued, and she shows off and gets basically adopted by the rats, who all give her a gift, so a stiletto, a hat, a belt, things like that. She realizes that she's no longer alone. Like, she's got this band in which she currently belongs, despite the fact that Kaylee tries to have his way with her in a rather crude fashion, and gets chased off by Missile, who in turn has her way with her. And it doesn't go into too much detail as to Ciri's thoughts or what happens with her, but it's an uncomfortable scene. It's an uncomfortable scene because the ideas of consent, and with a lot of what's been going on in the modern media with some of the abuse, to see something like that and read about it and understand it, I mean, I think any well-reasoned individual would feel disconcerted reading it. At the same time, Ciri now has a home and people who will help protect her, and she will protect them. She is learning to kill without questioning it, which is something we see when she's making her escape. She has trouble killing people, and the one she does kill makes her sick, and watching them get killed makes her sick. And in order to survive, she's got to lose that hesitation. There's a famous line from the movie The Shootist. It's John Wayne's last film, and it reminds me of this instance where he's teaching a kid to shoot, and they're practicing on a tree, and the kid realizes that his grouping of bullets is the same as this famous gunslinger's. And the line goes something to the effect of, as the kid is saying, "Hey, my spread is like the same as yours," and the line is, "Well, the thing that stands out is you've got to be willing to kill, because if you're going to pause, you're going to blink, you're going to hesitate, that's the minute you die." So it's not so much about being wholly 100% accurate, it's about not hesitating when the time comes to take a life. And that's what Ciri is struggling with right now. Rightfully so. It should not be easy for anybody to take a life, but in a world such as that of The Witcher, where taking a life is the difference between losing your own and living long, you need to not hesitate, but you need to recognize why you take said life. So I think Ciri's going to have this crisis in the next book where she struggles with the fact that the rats enjoy killing for killing's sake, rather than just recognizing it's a necessary evil. And so that may affect her, but at the same time she's going to learn that she must kill to survive, and she will be able to do that when the time comes, I feel. We don't hear anything of Geralt in these last two chapters, so we'll have to see if the rumors Dandelion mentioned were those of Nilfgaard having Ciri, or those of the seventh person running around with the rats. And I'm not sure. We may see Geralt get all the way to Nilfgaard and talk with Emir von Emrys, only to realize that's not her and have to go back and look for her again. We also know nothing of Yennefer. We got no news of her from Dandelion at all. So figuring out what happened there after the mage battle hopefully gets brought up very early on in the Baptism of Fire, the next novel in the series, which I am looking forward to. I'm really excited. We're hitting the third of 5 novels, so we're almost halfway through the franchise. We will be starting this book club up very soon as I get some of it read and can make some comments on it. So please make sure you're joining us for that. I've been enjoying these books a lot. I hope you have as well. I hope you enjoyed my commentary on them. And please feel free to comment. I try to respond to all the comments as quickly as possible, and I like to hear what you think. So, thank you for joining us for reading The Time of Contempt by Andrzej Sapkowski. We'll be starting the Baptism of Fire shortly. Thanks for watching. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our video. We do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, give us a like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you thought, and as always, have a good one.